You're watching Northwest Sports Tonight, brought to you by McDonald's. Did you know many of your favorite choices at McDonald's are under 400 calories? Come see for yourself. McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Susceptible to turnover. Huron takes it away and hit to Johnson. Finds him with a sledgehammer. Defense.
Up next, Pac-12 well represented in the Sweet 16, but will Arizona and Oregon still be dancing in the Elite Eight? Plus, Seahawks general manager John Schneider continues to wheel and deal, and the Mariners' Michael Morse making history today in Cactus League play. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Northwest Sports Tonight. I'm Chris Egan. In about 10 minutes' time, ESPN's Sean Farnham will join us to talk some college basketball, plus the Seahawks add another name to their roster, and the Mariners end Cactus League play in style. But we'll begin things tonight with the big dance. 16 teams were still alive when the day started, but that number is now down to 12. One of those teams still in the hunt, the Oregon Ducks. In less than 24 hours, Dana Altman will be coaching in his first Sweet 16 game since getting hired at Oregon 3 years ago. The Ducks have come a long way in those 3 years and will now face top-seeded Louisville tomorrow. The Cardinals are known for their defense, and Dana Altman knows the Ducks have to play cleanly to win.
I'm hoping 15, 16 is a number we can hold it to, but we're going to make mistakes. I told the guys that. We just got to play through them. And Louisville does a great job of multiplying those mistakes into a number of baskets, and we've got to do a great job of just trying to keep that number down to a manageable figure.
Ducks have good reason to be concerned about the Cardinals' defense. The Cards forced 47 turnovers in their first 2 NCAA games. The Cards headed to tomorrow's game on a 12-game win streak. During this run, the team held its opponents to less than 55 points. Cardinals know they have depth and smothering defense, but they also know Oregon's heating up just at the right time.
They're a great team. You know, they won their conference tournament. They're playing really well right now, and you know, both their guards are playing tremendous. Ever since their other guard came back, I think they're about 7-2 right now, and they're playing great. In the half-court offense, you know, they move the ball really well. They're shooting lights out.
Arizona taking on Ohio State for a chance to move into the Elite Eight. Second half, Deshaun Thomas hits a 3. Buckeyes up by 10. Wildcats come charging back. 30 seconds left in the game. Arizona down 3. Off the rebound, Mark Lyons lays it in and gets fouled. He ties the game up with a free throw. 2 seconds left in this one. LaQuinton Ross, how about this? Clutch. Drains the 3 to give the Buckeyes the lead. Last chance for Arizona. The inbounds pass is intercepted. Ohio State punches a ticket to the Elite Eight. They win at 73-70, your final. NCAA Division II Elite Eight. Western Washington trailed Florida Southern 2-0. And that was it. They open up a 17-point first-half lead. John Allen, 22 points, 5 assists. Richard Woodworth continues the punishment in the second half. Hammers it home. He had 17. Austin Bragg, 17 points, 14 rebounds. Vikings head into the Final Four with a 96-82 win. Well, after a meeting between Cougs coach Ken Bone and athletic director Bill Moose, Bone will stay on as the Cougs head coach. In the meeting, there were no specifics on how many wins Wazoo needs next year. They just need to get better.
Everything went fine. Talked about this season, the ups and downs, and you know, there's no doubt we need to win more basketball games. I don't think the players, myself, you know, or anybody in Coug Nation is excited about the amount of wins we had, but Bill is supportive of me and the program, and yes, I will be back next season.
Wazoo went 13-19 this season. The Cougs lost 9 straight in the middle of the Pac-12 season, finishing dead last in the conference with a 4-14 record. This was Bone's first losing season with the team, but Wazoo has a pretty good recruiting class, along with some guys who had to sit out this season. And now Bone will get another chance to turn things around. Ray Giacoletti is head coach once again. This time he's heading to Drake University. Giacoletti has been pretty good coaching experience, includes taking Eastern Washington to its first NCAA tournament in 2004. He will replace Mark Phelps and leaves Gonzaga after 6 seasons as the assistant coach to Mark Few. Giacoletti said today, "I'm excited to be part of the Drake family. I've followed the Missouri Valley Conference basketball my whole life, and I'm looking forward to making Drake basketball the best it could be. My wife and I are both Midwest natives, so the opportunity to return is an added bonus." Seahawks have added yet another player to the defense. Adam Schefter reporting the team has agreed to a one-year deal with defensive tackle Tony McDaniel. The 28-year-old had 7 sacks in 4 seasons, including a half a sack against Russell Wilson last year. McDaniel played in 11 games in 2012 after having 2 knee injuries. Seahawks offseason workouts begin April 5th. The team has OTAs in May and early June, followed by mandatory minicamp from June 11th to the 13th. Well, just 4 days now until the Mariners season begins, and manager Eric Wedge still needs to trim 5 guys off the roster. Today, the M's taking on the Cubs. Michael Morse continues to swing a hot bat. That's his 9th HR of Cactus League play. That's the most HRs ever by a Mariner in spring training. Sashi Iwakuma gets his last tune-up before the season starts. He pitched well, except that pitch. 3rd inning, Alfonso Soriano takes Iwakuma deep, 2-run shot. 8th inning was all tied up at 4, but Kelly Shopping changes that. Ropes one to left field, 2-run score. M's win at 6-4. They finished Cactus League play 21-11. Eric Wedge, what did you accomplish?
Learning what our new guys are all about and just seeing how far our young kids have come, whether it be kids that aren't here right now, but we saw for the first time, but even more importantly, at least initially here, the guys that have been here either last year or year before and how far they've come. So, it's a process. We've said it so many different times, and, as long as you keep moving forward, things are going to be okay.
Team won't get back to Safeco Field until April 8th for their home opener, but the players and fans will have some new features to help their game day experience. Here's a look at the most talked about video screen in Seattle. This 201-foot video screen, largest in Major League Baseball. Hey, and careful what you tweet. The video screen will also display tweets from you, the fans. Pretty cool stuff there. Bail restrictions for Oscar Pistorius have been loosened. A South African judge rules he can now travel overseas to run. The double amputee could return to the track and field world as soon as August for the World Championships in Russia. However, he can only travel under several restrictions. A court will hold on to his passport, and it will only be released to him if he provides an itinerary of his travel plans.
Now for the McDonald's moment of the day. Did you know many of your favorite choices at McDonald's are under 400 calories? Come see for yourself.
Back to the M's game. Before Kelly Shopping had the game-winning hit, he actually lost his bat into the crowd. Normally, if you're a fan and you get a bat, you're kind of supposed to give it back, but this fan apparently feels like he not only earned the bat, but he also won the game. He's got the bat. He's high-fiving everybody he sees. He thinks he's the MVP of the game. Yeah, high-five, I'm out of here. This fan is on the move to the exits, but he's not getting our McDonald's moment. That goes to Kelly Shopping, who played on without that bat, and he had the game-winning hit. That guy is out of there. Coming up, ESPN's Sean Farnham breaks down the Oregon-Louisville game and how he thinks Ray Giacoletti will do at Drake University. Plus, find out if Tom Izzo's son picked Michigan State or Duke to win tomorrow. Great stuff there. And we catch up with Popeye Jones. Did you know his son plays for the Winterhawks? For updates before you see him on Northwest Sports Tonight, make sure to follow us on Twitter. You can follow us at King5 Sports or follow my personal page at Chris Egan 5. Sean Farnham, when we return, we'll be right back.
This is Richard Sherman, and you're watching Northwest Sports Tonight.
With Chris Egan, it beats the living Tweedle out of all the other sports shows.
Welcome back, everybody, to Northwest Sports Tonight, and our pleasure now to bring on the show Sean Farnham from ESPN. Sean, you have been very busy this past month with NCAA basketball. Tomorrow, the Great Northwest will be watching the Oregon Ducks take on Louisville. Just your thoughts on this Ducks team and the run they've been making since the Pac-12 tournament.
Well, I thought the hire of Dana Altman from the start was just a phenomenal hire. He's one of the great tacticians in the game, and it may not have been the sexy hire, the press conference winning hire, but it is the substance hire. And I think he's had this Ducks team a year ahead of schedule all season long. And the talented core of freshmen that he's injected into it, obviously Kazemi's made a difference being eligible right away. but they have battled through injury. They've put themselves in this position, and I thought they were really undervalued by the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee. I think most of my colleagues here at ESPN would feel the exact same way, and so not necessarily a huge surprise that they're here, but this will be the biggest test. Going against a Louisville team that can really get after you at the defensive end of the floor. And I think guard play is going to be so important in this game, because if Louisville's able to turn over the Ducks, then I think it could be the end of the Ducks' run.
Yeah, the Cardinals have one of the best right here from Seattle, that being Peyton Siva. Just your thoughts on the Zags' year and their disappointing loss last week.
Well, I think it's disappointing, and I think it's fair to say that it's disappointing, and it should be disappointing to everybody in the Northwest and anybody that's a Bulldogs fan. But it should not diminish the overall strength of their season and what this team was able to accomplish and the brand of basketball that they've played to garner that #1 ranking overall in college basketball this year. That, to me, is something that you cannot look past, even in disappointment at the end of the season when they ran into an opponent that just got red hot from the outside and drained 14 three-pointers. They had guys that really hadn't shot the ball well all season long. All of a sudden start hitting them in from everywhere. And you know, the scouting report would have told you that philosophy would have worked well, but it did not. And they end up coming home too early. In my estimation, I had them going to the Final Four. I really believe that bracket was ready-made for them to make a great run and go all the way to Atlanta. But Kelly Olynyk, a great season for him, now decision time to make. And Elias Harris, who quietly, behind Kelly Olynyk, had his probably best season as a Zag. And I think the future of the program continues to be bright. Mark Few is one of the great coaches in all of college basketball, not just because of his winning percentage, but by the way he's able to build personal relationships with each one of his kids, getting them to buy in, understanding the sense of community and the importance that is in Spokane.
Yeah, well said. You mentioned Kelly Olynyk, a decision to make. Well, Ray Giacoletti did make a decision. People in Spokane know him, one of the assistant coaches for Gonzaga, but he's now going to be taking his talents to Drake. Just your thoughts on Ray Giacoletti and what he'll mean to Drake.
Couldn't be happier for him. I thought he got a raw deal when he was at Utah. He had one of the youngest teams in the Mountain West Conference. They got rid of him, and the following year, that young talent that he brought in ended up making a run to the Sweet 16. So he had done a great job building up the Utah Utes program, and he's a great coach. He did a wonderful job working with Kelly Olynyk and the Bigs, really helping them understand positioning, floor positioning, how to pin and seal, where to work. He's ready for this job. He's been ready for this job, and I think it's a great fit for him. He'll go into that conference and immediately be able to recruit and sell the brand and style of basketball that he's going to have. And it just, again, speaks to the strength of Gonzaga's basketball program, you know, and the reputation that it holds amongst the college basketball circles. And Ray Giacoletti benefited from that, and I couldn't be happier for him.
Yeah, we wish him the best at Drake. And finally for you, Sean, kind of interesting stuff in the Pac-12. You have Ben Hallett, who gets his team to the tournament, and then there's Ken Bone, whose team finishes last place in the Pac-12, and yet it's Ben Hallett who is looking for a job. And today, Washington State says Ken Bone will be back.
Well, expectations. Different places, different expectations. You know, I think Ken Bone has done a nice job there. They need to win. They've got a pretty good recruiting class coming in next year, and I think that he's going to be on the hot seat from the start of the season, and he's going to have to perform well. There's a certain level now that they're going to expect out of this program moving forward. I think for UCLA, you know, it's puzzling at times to think about a coach getting fired when he's won the conference, but you know, 2 wins in 5 years in the NCAA tournament, that does not equal UCLA standards.
Yeah, the search is on. And Sean Farnham, thank you so much. I know you've been a busy man. We appreciate you having on the show tonight.
No problem whatsoever. Thank you.
All right, and we asked you on Facebook, do you think Wazoo should have kept Bone as the head coach? The major consensus so far is that he actually should have been fired. Richard wrote, Wazoo has been on a downhill slide since they hired him. I think it's time for them to look for a new coach. Elizabeth says, I think they can't afford to fire him while paying for 2 football coaches. Amy writes, it's too bad we're settling for mediocrity considering just 5 short years ago we were in the Sweet 16. Tom Izzo heads into his 11th Sweet 16 tomorrow night when he faces off against Mike Krzyzewski. The battle between Michigan State and Duke features a 2 and 3 seed, so it's anyone's game. Izzo's son, Steven, even struggled with who to pick.
I tried to be a real parent, you know, not push your kid, you know, help him make intelligent decisions, you know, like all of us do. And I said, Steven, I love you, man. Do it with your head, not your heart, you know. Don't worry about mom or dad. The damn kid didn't do it. He didn't worry about us at all. He picked Duke, and then we move on.
All righty, so how do you think Coach K responded when he heard and Izzo picked Duke to beat Michigan State?
I thought that was a great story, and for Tom to share it, that's a good thing. And by the way, his son will be sitting on our bench, and has a scholarship to Duke.
There you go. Coming up next, LaMarcus Aldridge played very few minutes last night after getting hurt in the first quarter. Find out if he'll play Friday against the Jazz, plus what else happened tonight in the big dance. We've got it all for you. NBA now. Last night did not go very well for the Blazers. Not only did the team lose to the Nets by 18 points, but they also lose starting forward LaMarcus Aldridge. Aldridge did not practice today after spraining his right ankle in the first half of yesterday's game. He's listed as questionable for tomorrow's game against the Jazz. Whether he plays or not, the Blazers need to pick up their game if they want to make the playoffs.
You know, we didn't come like a team that wanted to make a push for the playoffs. You know, that's what we say we want to do, and we didn't play like it.
Well, there's an NBA coach who just happens to be one of the biggest Winterhawk fans in the country. His name is Popeye Jones, assistant coach of the Brooklyn Nets. Last night, the Nets rolled over the Blazers 111-93, but Jones was keeping close tabs on the Winterhawks game. You see, his son is Hawks defenseman Seth Jones. Seth had an assist on the Hawks' third goal last night. Portland beat the Silvertips 7-3 to take a 2-1 lead in the best-of-7 series.
It's kind of crazy because I haven't seen him since September. I came to opening night, and we got in at like 3:30, and he left at 4 forever.
How proud are you of Seth? Because he's not just a great hockey player, but he seems like a really good kid.
Well, I'm actually more proud of the person, the teenager. Obviously, the hockey's great, but the type of person that he is, it makes me, really proud.
Yeah, cool stuff there. Well, going into their 17th season, it's out with the old and in with the new for the WNBA as they unveil a new logo. The logo woman is supposed to reflect the league's athleticism and diversity, its strength and leadership. ESPN and the WNBA have extended their agreement through the 2022 season. The new agreement allows up to 30 live games to be televised. Coming up next, we'll see if Marquette can continue their dream run, and #1 seed Indiana in some trouble taking on Syracuse.
His opponent on that play. Oh, what a screen set by Peyton. How about that? The southpaw Trish to the 10.
It happened tonight, the big dance. Big seeds going down. Second seed at Miami. No answer for Marquette. Golden Eagles grabbed a double-digit lead in the first half. Never looked back. Marquette in the Elite Eight for the first time since 2003. They win 71-61. #1 seeded Indiana taking on Syracuse. Ravens head coach John Harbaugh on hand to support his brother-in-law, Indiana coach Crean. Tough night for the Hoosiers. Syracuse all over Indiana in this one. They win it 61-50. And in the other game, Wichita State still on fire from long range. They knock off LaSalle tonight 72-58. And that's what else happened tonight. And that is our show for tonight. Thanks for joining us. And thanks again to Sean Farnham from ESPN for jumping on. Good luck tomorrow night for the Oregon Ducks as they battle the Cardinals in the Sweet 16. We'll leave you tonight with another look at the biggest video screen in Major League Baseball. Mariner fans, I hope you're ready. The season begins next week. The season opener, April 8th.
You're watching Northwest Sports Tonight, brought to you by McDonald's. Did you know many of your favorite choices at McDonald's are under 400 calories? Come see for yourself. McDonald's. I'm loving it.